Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the second episode of Master Mike's Wrestling Paradise. This is me, Master Mike Ambrose, your host. And last night, Raw had their final show in the Thunderdome. It was the go-home show for Money in the Bank for Raw. Obviously, we got SmackDown on Friday night, which will be the first show with live fans, as it'll be in Houston, Texas. Last night, Ricochet and John Morrison had probably one of the best matches in the Thunderdome. I thought it was really good, high impact action. That and Bobby Lashley fought Xavier Woods, and Xavier Woods scored an upset against Lashley. I don't know if this means they're going to go to SummerSlam to have this feud, because Lashley is feuding with Kofi Kingston on Sunday, and that's for the title, and I can't see Kofi Kingston winning the title on Sunday. I thought it was going to be Lashley and Brock Lesnar for SummerSlam. Brock could be back on Monday, but the way it looks like now, Lashley could be feuding with fighting Xavier Woods at SummerSlam. It's not a money match, I don't think. No offense to either guy, I think they're really good. Lashley's playing his character well at times, and Xavier Woods is very underrated. I think he's a talented guy and very successful with New Day. NXT tonight, we've got Karrion Kross, or I always call it Killer because that's what he was in Impact. Karrion Kross defend the NXT title against Johnny Gargano. I expect Kross to win this one. And hopefully, I could see a Kross Samoa Joe match down the line. I think it looks like Karrion Kross the next few months is going to be moving up to the main roster. I just have this feeling. The way he's being booked and portrayed in NXT. And he should. He's got so much potential to be a top guy, it's not even funny. Him and Scarlett's a great part of the act. They come across, obviously they're together in real life, and they come across like major stars, which is, wrestling needs that right now. Also, we have the NXT Breakout Tournament. Couple of favorites in that. We have Carmelo Hayes, who's from Massachusetts, Boston, and Josh Briggs. A few other talent that we're going to be seeing a lot of. So it's a good way to bring up new talent, because NXT was kind of getting stale, it seems like. They never seem to bring up a lot of talent at much. Like this past Friday, they had the women's division get some new boosts with Shotzi, Tegan, and Toni Storm. But other than that, there's never been that many call-ups. Hopefully Kross, and I think Adam Cole should be brought up to the main roster as soon as possible. He's on all he can in NXT. I think he's the best overall talent going. Right, by far. Tomorrow night on AEW, we have a Coffin match between Ethan Page and Darby Allin. I'm a big fan of Darby Allin. I think he brings a different element to the company. He has a different look, and he comes off like a real guy. And the way he goes into the ropes, he doesn't put his arm out. He goes full force. Not the biggest guy, but as tough as they come. And Ethan Page is a heck of a talker, and he's a good worker, so good things should come from that match. Also, we have the Pinnacle versus Inner Circle feud, which is going on for a while now. I think eventually it's going to be MJF versus Jericho. It's got to be, because the way they've been booking them, keeping them apart. And that should be a good match when it comes to MJF versus Jericho. I think MJF is one of the best young talents in the business right now, and a great heel. No question. Also, I'd like to send a few shout-outs to Boom Boom Games, because I purchased a few items there. Right here, I got the Randy Savage figure from WrestleMania Moments. The famous Intercontinental Championship match versus Ricky Steve from WrestleMania 3, which was regarded as one of the biggest wrestling events of all time, still to this day. 34 years later, we're still talking about it. Here's one of my favorite manager of all time, Bobby the Brain Heenan, in his weasel suit. Not his best look, obviously, but you weren't getting many better managers than Bobby Heenan. He's number one on my Mount Rushmore of managers. I put Paul Heyman, Jim Cornette. I know it's kind of controversial because he can be out there at times, but he's still one of the best managers. And J.J. Dillon, obviously, 4 Horsemen. Also want to send a shout out to Kojo's Toy World, where I picked up these two. Obviously, my favorite wrestler of all time, Ric Flair and Sting, who many people say was the franchise of WCW. I think these two gentlemen right here were the core of the company. All due respect to guys like Bill Goldberg, Booker T, Diamond Dallas Page, Steiner Brothers, a lot of talent that came through WCW. These two guys were the glue that kept the company going for all those years. And finally, the recent passing of Paul Orndorff, R.I.P. Probably one of the best heels I ever saw. I still talk about that heel turn against Hogan. And everybody talks about it to this day. It was like a shock. And not only that, I was watching a match from the big event, and you could hear people cheering for Orndorff at the time. He was almost like an anti-hero back then, but you just didn't realize it. And I could see why they didn't want to turn him face again, because Hogan was the top guy, and obviously they didn't want to kill the golden goose, so to speak. Well, that about does it for tonight. I'll be back in a few days doing a Money in the Bank preview and a report of NXT and AEW and SmackDown, of course. For fans are back this weekend, folks. We're getting back to normal. We're going to get through this together. Good night.